Hi people, welcome back to my channel. Well, let's see, I'm not sure what week we're in quarantine, but we are here still. And I am going to talk today about some ways to just make things easier when you're stuck at home. And whether you're alone or whether you're with other people or with your furbolts. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, why don't you go ahead and do so now and hit the ringer bell so that you get notifications when I have new videos up, and we'll get started here in a moment. Kaylee was in here trying to help me, but once again she was knocking over the webcam, knocking over my light, and she and Apple were also sparring, and it was getting a little much, so I had to sort of shoo them out. In case you're wondering who I am, well, I am Yasmine Galenorn. I am a New York Times, USA Today, Publishers Weekly bestselling author of over 65 books. I write urban fantasy and paranormal romance, and I have 25 years in the business on a professional level, and I spent 20 of that in trad publishing in New York mostly, and the last 4.5 to 5 I've spent indie, and I am loving it. So that's just a little about who I am. In my channel here, I talk about cats, I talk about magic, I talk about writing, I talk about daily life, I talk about problems with mast cell activation disorder, which I have, and food allergies, which I have, and histamine intolerance, which I have, and a number of other things. Tattoos, and all sorts of things, just whatever I feel like. So today, we're going to talk a little about ways to make dealing with this pandemic a little easier. It has settled in. It is no longer a novelty. And when things are new, people are all gung ho, and it's like, yeah, we can do this, we can do this. Now we are in the long haul of it. Now we are waiting for the curves to flatten. Which doesn't mean that there aren't going to be any more cases. It just means that the hospital systems won't be overloaded when, the patients come in. And it also means that we're at that point where people are getting frustrated and tired and cranky and panicked and nerve-wracked, and, just all sorts of emotions are coming up. And we know we need to stay, I hate this phrase because of where it came from, but stay the course. But we know we need to stay on track, but it's a lot harder to do so emotionally. So I'm going to offer you a few tips today to maybe make it a little easier to weather the storm that we're in at this point. There's a lot of talk, and several articles have come out, very good articles, about not paying attention to the people who say, use this time to be ultra productive. You're at home. You could do this, and you could do that, and you could do... Well, yeah, you can do. You can do a lot of things. The question is, do you have the energy to do it? Do you have the emotional energy to do it? So I'm not going to tell you to keep uber busy. I will say one of my first tips is to make a list of the 3 most important things you need to do each day. And they need to not be so overwhelming that you can only get one of them done and then feel bad about yourself. Realistically, look at your schedule, go, what are the 3 most important things that I do today? Whether it's homeschooling your kid, whether it's writing a chapter, whether it is cleaning out the refrigerator, or whether it's watching Netflix. Look at your schedule, look at what you need to do, pare it down to the 3 most important things. Put those on your list. And if those are the only things you get done today, hey, you've had a productive day. Don't make your to-do list so long that you feel overwhelmed. I would suggest keeping a second list with all the other things that you need to do or that you feel should be done. And then if you get those 3 things done, then and only then look at the other list and go, do I want to add something to this? There is just, it's just a fact that conditions like we're in right now, being in a pandemic, being part of a world that has to adjust to something like this, it drains energy just from trying to comprehend it. It will drain your energy. So you don't have as much energy as you normally would. Most people are not going to have as much energy. I notice I'm sleeping more, which is unusual for me. I find I need more sleep during this time. And I think my body just needs to rest from the stress, from the emotional stress of dealing with this. And I have less of a focus. I am usually uber focused in my writing. I, dive in, boom. I no matter what, it's harder to focus this time. And it's not because I don't love what I'm writing. It's because my internal compass feels like it's been thrown off. Everything is different. My life has not changed drastically in terms of what I normally do, but it feels like it has. And that's because the world has changed around me and everything's different. And the few things that I was able to do on a monthly basis, I can't go out and do now. I can't get my nails done. I can't get my hair done. I can't go do those things. And while I'm fully accepting of that, because it's a necessity at this point to just accept that, it has thrown my internal compass off. It's thrown my internal focus on time off. Hell, my planners, it's like, I used to only put those things and my chiropractor appointments and a few other things, plus all my writing stuff on there. And now it's like, well, what do I put on there? And it's like, well, I still go to my chiropractor because that's a vital appointment I can't really do without. My ability to sit at my desk is actually impaired if I don't get my chiropractor appointments. But also, it's just like, I only had a few things that I took off of the calendar, and yet it feels like, well, what do I put on it? What do I sit there and plan? And it's like, yeah, I still have all these things that I do, my work and my writing. And some of you will have a lot more, but everything feels different. Everything feels off. So I suppose what I'm saying right now is don't be so hard on yourself. And that leads me to number 2. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up for what you don't get done. Don't beat yourself up for wishing things were the way they were. Don't beat yourself up for feeling like, I wish things were back to normal. We all feel that way. We all are grieving and mourning the loss of a way of life that we were just used to. Things have changed. I mean, we have to accept it, but it's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel bad about these things. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about wishing you could go to your hair appointment or something. No, it's not shallow. It was part of your existence beforehand. It was part of your normal. And now normal has changed. And it's okay to be upset. I mean, we have to move past it at some point, but right now we're still in a feeling of loss stage, like a mourning stage. And some of us have lost a whole lot more. Some of you have lost friends and family and loved ones to this virus. So your grieving is far, far more in touch with what's going, with the actual thing that has caused this. It's, don't feel bad over grieving, and don't feel bad over being upset or feeling off or feeling like you can't quite pull things together your normal way. It's part of the process. Accept that you're going to have some of those emotions, and we just have to work through them and accept them and try to let them pass. So, don't beat yourself up. If you only get one of those three important things done on your list, maybe that's all you can manage today, and that's okay. That's all right. I give you permission. If you need permission to feel like you can't do as much as normal, I give you permission to do only what you can. Keep in touch with friends. That brings me to this. Keep in touch with friends and family and the people that you love, the people that shore you up. It's not a good time to keep in touch with people that make us feel negative about ourselves or our lives. It really isn't. And you don't have to. But those people that shore you up, that you help shore them up, that you have a interconnected, safety net with, keep in touch with them. Text, email, phone, if they like the phone. I know a lot of social introverts do not enjoy phone calls, so text them instead. There's FaceTime, there's Zoom, there's Skype. There's all ways to keep connected. Have Skype parties if you want. Have Zoom parties. Have a Netflix party where you all watch the same movie together. We can still do things together even though we're socially isolated. And we can still interconnect. And that's an important thing to remember. While touch is wonderful, while being face-to-face is wonderful, the connectedness comes from the spirit, the soul, the heart. And for that, you just need, a way to connect. And when you're texting and when you're emailing, don't forget the emojis. I know that sounds a little odd to some of you, but it's really easy to misread what people are saying unless you have some indication of the emotion behind it. So make sure people understand, if you say something and it could potentially be mistaken for something negative or hurtful that you didn't mean to say, let them know. Tell them, I'm joking, or use, the smiley emoji or something. But remember that people, when they read something, they may not take it the way you meant it if they could hear the inflection in your voice. And this is just a random list, by the way, people. I wrote some things down, but it's by no means comprehensive. Another thing, remember, we're all dealing with this together. Not everybody will deal with it in the same way. Not everybody is impacted as much as other people. If you are well off and comfortable, you're not going to be as impacted as someone who is afraid of making rent. You're just not. But the bottom line is everybody is impacted by this. There's not much you can do with that, except it does help sometimes to remember this is not a personal attack. The virus is not personally attacking you unless you get it, and then yes, it is personally attacking you, but just the presence of it is not a personal attack on your world. It is something that is reverberating through the world and changing history. We're living in history. We're living in a point where history is being made. And honestly, I don't foresee things changing back to normal after this. There will be impacts that will be far-reaching and probably long-reaching. We can't ever go back to what normal was. Things will shift. Things will change. And we'll all have to change with it together. Find your joy. Find your peace. Find your happiness. I don't care if it's watching kitty videos, which of course I do, or if it's playing a video game, or losing yourself in a good book, or whether it's making mounds of chocolate chip cookies and eating them all. I don't care at this point. Find your joy. Find something that makes you feel better, that isn't harmful to you, and go for it. This is not the time to be severe with yourself. It's not the time to put the lid on the cookie jar, providing you don't have health concerns that, are impacted by cookies. But it's not the time to put the lid on the cookie jar. It's not the time to say, oh, I shouldn't take a bath because, I shouldn't take a bubble bath because that's indulgent, or I shouldn't eat that fudge because that's indulgent. It's not time for that, people. It's time to be looking for what makes you happy. If it's going outside in your yard and sitting there and listening to the bees and the birds and stuff, then do that. Make it a point to find your happy during the day. We all need some happiness and some joy and something that makes us smile and let go of the tension and stress. So find your happy, find your joy. We'll get through this. We will get through this together. And a lot of people are doing some extremely creative things. I've seen a number of just entertaining videos that people have made, creative things that they've been doing, creative ways they've found to have anniversary dinners, or creative ways they've found to surprise each other, while still practicing the social distancing and being careful. It's a renaissance for creativity at this point. So, I don't care if it's silly. It doesn't matter. If something gives you joy, if it makes you happy to go take a video of your dog catching a frisbee or falling in a lake or something like that, well, you know what I mean, jumping in a lake, then go take a video of it. Post it. People are in need of things like that right now. People are in need of those small reminders that life can be still fun. Life can still be beautiful. Life can still be enjoyable. Life can bring us a smile. And if you need permission, if you are one of those people who feels like you need permission to let yourself be silly, to let yourself be, goof off, I'll give you permission. You have my permission. It's okay. Go do it. If someone says, why are you doing that? Say, Yasmine Galenorn told me I could do it. So there. I don't care. Find your joy. Reach out. Don't overwork yourself. Try to do something good for yourself every day. I'm doing yoga every evening, and it has helped immensely. I'm not doing hot yoga. I'm not doing power yoga. I'm not doing, exhaust myself yoga. I'm doing gentle yoga for about half an hour a night. And I'm finding it's making me calm. It's helping me find my center again. And I'm hoping that I'll find my intense focus again. I don't know if I will for a while, but that's okay. It's like I'm getting the work done. It's not getting done quite as evenly as I usually do. And by that I mean, just narrow focus, get the work done. And then when I'm done for the day, I can go do something. It may be interspersed with other things. But we'll weather this together. We will. So, what is your joy? What is your happiness? What can you find to put a smile on your face? Tell me in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithms. It helps everything. And I hope that you have joy today, and I hope that you have joy tomorrow, and that you find joy the next day. Um, Joy or happy, whichever one you prefer. So, peace, people. Monday, Sunbroken comes out, and I hope you enjoy it. And, just